The People's Democratic Party, PDP, the Opposition or Progressive Congress, APC, and the Labour Party are the major political parties seeking to occupy the government house on Osadebe Avenue out of the 17 political parties participating in the election. Despite their sizes, structure, and base, leadership of the parties are not only occupied with campaigns, but how to settle the myriads of problems rearing its head on a daily basis. For instance, the ruling PDP in the state has lost some key members to the opposition.
Maybe they are, bored because the kind of party activities they want is not happening here. So maybe they are looking for board appointment because they are bored in this place. So we wish them the best. But for us, we want to target the people because at the end of the day, 15%, they are not even up to 15% of people who are in political parties. What it means that the greater proportion of those who will determine who will be governor are the people. So our candidate, the party, the campaign council is reaching directly, to the people because they will determine the fate of who becomes governor 2024.
The situation is not any better in the APC. The party is yet to surmount the crisis that emanated from party primaries and the constitution of a campaign council.
Well, we never had skirmishes in the party. Probably you are saying this because of the delay in inaugurating the campaign. Every day we receive people from the PDP to our party. All the people that were with Obaseki have left him in PDP. The people he met in PDP have all left him. So he's now left with him and Igodalo in that place. So while we were receiving these people, we needed to also put them in our campaign council. That's the reason why there was a delay. And I can tell you we had no skirmishes. The party is ready to win the election and take over the state.
What's hit at the moment is the Labour Party. The crisis at the national level has given room for the party to have two state chairmen, one of them loyal to the national chairman. But the candidate of the party is optimistic.
A lot of efforts. Our national leader has been working very hard. In fact, he came here with many of our national working committee members, our senators. They are meeting regularly to make sure that we are all a united force towards the coming election. I'm confident that the efforts will yield results. So we are good.
Moving forward, the parties have decided to look beyond all grievances and keep their eyes on winning.
Bring all these people together in a political contraption, a political arrangement. There will definitely be bickerings, all right? But the beauty of it is that we're able to find our way through all of those challenges. There will be, negotiations, compromises, shifting of grounds where necessary. Some will leave political parties and align with another political party. Some other persons will also, leave other political parties and come, into the People's Democratic Party. So it's not an unusual thing, especially as we approach an election. I always tell people
in meetings because our role as a party now that the campaign council is on, our role as a party is to now engage and bring out all those flaws of Obaseki government for them to campaign with. Well, it's a serious business and we are ready. We will definitely win.
There are 10 chairmen of the party. That's a party affair. It's not affecting our campaign and it's not going to affect our campaign. It will not distract us from what we need to do, and we will not be derailed by these things. We are focused and we are people-oriented people. Party, as you know, is Papa, Mama, Pikin. That is our slogan. And we'll meet Papa, Mama, Pikin at their farms, at their homes, at the marketplaces, at the place of work. And we're going to take this campaign to them because they need change. And we want to tell them what change that we are bringing to them. I'm from Aigbe. And so by that line, yes, I'm a son of the palace.
All eyes are in Edo right now as indigenous stakeholders are watching with keen interest on how it will play out come September 21st, 2024. Christy Macaulay, Arise News.
Well, let's bring in Austine Aigbe, a member of the West Africa Democracy Solidarity Network. Good to see you, and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Well, just to start from, you know, that comment, it seems that everyone is banking and trying to claim some kind of palace affinity. Why is that so? And because the last respondent also spoke, and we saw the revered monarch, you know, address that people should be very careful of how they talk about their affinity or being a member of the palace. Is that how Edo election, is that a thing that some politicians would love to have on their side?
Well, it's a strong point anyway, because when you're from the palace, especially right now ahead of the election, there's some kind of using the palace to popularize certain candidate or certain political party. So everybody now claiming this narrative is because of the comment made by the Oba of Benin. And now, but who is from the palace? Someone from the palace is someone that is truly Benin. For example, my name is Omoruya Aigbe. I am from the palace.
Well, anyway, now let's jump into it, and we'll come back and have that palace gist later on, maybe off air. But this crisis, three big political parties are already, for the very first time, it's always been a two-horse race in Edo State. But for the very first time in a long time, we're going to see more like a three-horse race. How is this panning out, and what kind of crisis is this that Christie has been able to unearth?
So like Christie's talked about, yes, this is election period. And in fact, all of the folks, the reporters spoke to, all claim that, yes, they were on top of their game and they were going to reach out to the people, not necessarily the internal crisis. In fact, the Labour Party candidate earlier said, before this time, that yes, the internal party crisis notwithstanding, he is reaching out to the people, that it is no longer primary election process where the people in the party will decide his fate. But right now, it is the people of Edo, from the Edo North, Edo South, and Edo Central, that will determine his fate. I mean, that means that with the party crisis, we've surmounted that. We are now face to face with the people. And I think they all have the same kind of gist.
And is there anything about the senatorial district or zones, because it will look as if some of these parties are already talking about where the next bulk vote should come from, and as it stands, it will seem as if the three political parties have been able to make incursion into the three senatorial districts, making it almost impossible for anyone to claim an outright, win in their campaign.
So there's an unwritten rule or an unwritten accord in Edo State, particularly within the Benins. The Benins, I speak more like a Benin man, that for too long we've had a Benin man or a Benin person, an individual, as governor of Edo State from 1999. For instance, you have Chief Lucky Benedion, who was governor for 8 years, and a bit of Professor Saremi Osumbo came in, and according to law, is not supposed to be seen as a governor because the court sacked him. And then Adams Oshomole came and did the 8 years, back again to Godwin Obaseki, who is also from Benin. So historically...
so for those who don't understand what we said Benin, we're talking about Edo South.
Edo South, okay, Edo South, because it is more people, I think people know more Benin, Ishan, and Akoko Edo. Okay, let me just put it. Edo South is Benin, Edo Central is Ishan, Edo North is more of the Afema and the Akoko Edos. There are a lot of local government, a lot of tribal ethnic languages in those locations. But the Edo South has perpetually produced the governor of the state. And now we now have Edo North, which is Adams Oshomole. And historically, arguably, is that only Professor Ambrose Ali, was the only governor from Edo Central, which is the Ishan people. Now, there's some kind of unwritten rule or unwritten accord that the next governorship, the next candidate or the next governor of Edo State should come from this particular senatorial district, which is Edo Central, majorly Ishans. And only one political party among the three you mentioned, the three contenders, in the three horse race, only Labour Party then fielded someone from Edo Central, Edo South, which is the Benin. So that's a huge tax for Labour Party to have to deal with, because there's some kind of sentiment that everybody goes to Edo Central, which is Ishan. And that's, like I said, unwritten rule, unwritten accord, because the convention is on. That why don't we just, let's have an inclusion in the state, so that Edo North has done, Edo South has done, let Edo Central produce the next governor. And APC and PDP has followed that route. And again, these are the two major political parties, although now Labour, from the 2023 election, has actually created for itself the following, a huge following, whether I call it the obedient movement, that also have its own challenge right now, because obedient movement in the state is also like fragmented. There are some who are aligning with the Labour Party candidate, some who have aligned with the PDP candidate, and some with the APC candidate. So it is not the national election we're having in Edo State. It's more of who is going to do the job, and who do you know? Because politics is actually local. You can say that the national election is not local, it's national. Yeah. You are not seeing them, but right now we can tell who is going to be the next governor of Edo State by this calculation. So for me, I think, with all due respect, not to undermine what Labour is doing, that sentiment of the governorship candidate going to the central is big. However, Edo South has the highest population. Can Labour Party pull that number? That's a question that will be answered in September. But again, with the crisis again in the internal party crisis in Labour, that fragmentation may not be able to hold the kind of collective, because party structure is very important. When people talk about, no, we are going to reach out to people by ourselves, it's true, but it's not entirely true. Those who police the polling unit, those who sign registers, those whose faces are in quote that you fear on election day, those who police the polling unit are members of party. They are not just ordinary voter. If they don't have a stake in that candidate or stake in the process, they will not stick their hand on it.
And Aigbe, speaking of which, talking about the people, the conversation now in Edo is that it might be wrong to say Edo South has the number, because they say that's the metropolis, and in the metropolis you have some block of Esako people from the north, you have some block of Ishan people from the central, so making the numbers. So you cannot one fell swoop and just make that allegation. But let's talk about security, which is very key here, and it has to do with how well, because we saw how bitter it has been lately. A campaign director of the PDP was caught on camera inciting people. But how do you think they can navigate through the waters and have a free, fair, and crisis-free election in Edo State?
Yeah, on security, you talked about the campaign director of, the deputy campaign director, that's Reverend Olu Martins. He had also sent another level of messages out that's not exactly what he meant. But you see, when having campaigns, there are choice of words. That choice, that initial choice, Reverend Olu Martins is my very close friend. When we're in the days of activism, he was the SUG president, where we were in parliament at that time. But your diction, the first statement that goes out, go really viral. The other ones will just be an addendum. The truth of the matter is that he needs to consistently push forward that he never says so and let people really believe. But when you made that statement, and truly there's an attack on those billboards, it just confirmed what you said. And meanwhile, that was not what you meant. So we've seen pictorial evidence of attacks on billboard, whether of the APC, of Labour, particularly of Labour Party, and that's why the grievance is on. But I think Edo State will be peaceful in this election. Peaceful like we had in the last 4 years. Because people, the way the sentiment is that the situation is a bit calm, that nobody wants to die for anybody. I mean, the era of trying to do XYZ is long gone. You need to be very popular to win an election in Edo State right now. Well, I say this because of what happened in last election. With all of the things people thought was going to happen, election just went and people stood out, protected their vote, and that's exactly what's going to happen in September this year. People are going to show up on election day, stand until the votes are counted, and they go home rejoicing, knowing that their results would have counted.
And it's very instructive to say that the message passed on 4 years ago by the incumbent and outgoing governor, Godwin Obaseki, that no one must spill anyone's blood. should also resonate amongst these contenders as they go into the polls. I'd like to thank you for your time as always. Many thanks for speaking with us, Aigbe.
Thank you very much.